Welcome to Eerie Tales, where the spirits of the past still walk among us, and the boundaries between the living and the dead are thinner than we think. Today, we take you to the land down under, where some of the most spine-chilling ghost stories have emerged. These aren't myths, these are true encounters, some of which remain unsolved to this day. So sit back, relax, and let us guide you through the top 3 most scary true ghost encounters from Australia. Are you ready for a ghostly journey across haunted lands? Let's dive in. Our first tale takes us to the heart of Melbourne, Victoria, to a place soaked in history, crime, and chilling hauntings, the Old Melbourne Jail. Built in 1842, this notorious prison held some of Australia's most dangerous criminals. But there's one story that stands out, one so terrifying that it's said to be the most haunted part of the building. The story of the ghost of Ned Kelly. Ned Kelly is one of Australia's most famous criminals, an outlaw, a hero to some, and a criminal to others. He was captured after a notorious standoff with police in 1880 and was eventually hanged at the Old Melbourne Jail. But his ghost never left. Many visitors to the jail report a feeling of intense unease in the cell where Kelly was held before his execution. There have been sightings of a dark, looming figure dressed in an iron suit of armor, the same armor Kelly wore during his final standoff. Some claim to have seen his ghostly figure pacing back and forth, while others hear the clinking of chains echoing through the night. But it's not just his spirit that haunts the jail. A malevolent presence is said to linger in the cells, causing cold spots, the sound of rattling chains, and whispers in the darkness. Some have even reported feeling as if they were being touched, grabbed, or pulled by invisible forces. It's believed that Ned Kelly's restless spirit is seeking revenge or closure. But as the years pass, the spirits of the Old Melbourne Jail remain trapped, never fully at rest. Would you dare to step into the cell where one of Australia's most infamous figures met his fate? Our second story takes us to one of the most haunted houses in Australia, the Monte Cristo homestead in Junee, New South Wales. Built in 1885, this grand Victorian mansion was once the home of the White family, whose tragic and sinister history continues to haunt the estate. The White family's life in the house began peacefully enough, but it soon became marred by tragedy. The most disturbing event occurred when the family's servant, a young woman named Sarah, was tragically killed. It's said that she was either pushed down the stairs or fell accidentally while carrying a heavy load. Some believe she was murdered by one of the White family members, though the truth remains unclear. Sarah's spirit has been reported many times throughout the house. Visitors claim to hear soft, mournful cries echoing through the hallways, while others have seen a ghostly figure of a woman dressed in a long Victorian gown. One of the most terrifying encounters took place when a tour group reported feeling a cold presence behind them and hearing whispers in their ears. When they turned around, no one was there. But Sarah isn't the only ghost haunting Monte Cristo homestead. There have been reports of other spectral sightings, including a man in a black suit seen wandering the property late at night, and a child's laughter echoing in the empty halls. Visitors often experience feelings of being watched, and the temperature in certain rooms drops dramatically, as if the house itself is alive with spirits that refuse to leave. Monte Cristo homestead is not just haunted, it's a place where history and the supernatural collide, with a dark energy that still lingers in its walls. Would you be brave enough to spend the night at one of the most haunted places in Australia? Or would you leave before the ghosts decide to reveal themselves to you? Our final encounter takes us to the historic Port Arthur site in Tasmania, one of the most infamous former penal settlements in Australian history. Here, in this remote location, history is filled with suffering, death, and sorrow. The ghost that haunts this site is one of the most well-known and terrifying ghost stories in Australia. The ghost of a convict known only as the Man in the Woods. Port Arthur was a place of unimaginable torment for the convicts who were sent there in the 1800s. The punishments were severe, and many men and women died during their sentence, some of disease, others by execution. But the spirit of one particular convict, known only as the Man in the Woods, has become a legend. According to legend, the man was a convict who escaped into the dense Tasmanian wilderness in an attempt to flee the harsh conditions. He was hunted down by guards, and when they finally caught him, he was executed on the grounds of the Port Arthur prison. His final moments were filled with despair, and many believe his soul never left the area. Visitors to Port Arthur have reported seeing a tall, shadowy figure lurking in the trees near the convict grounds. Some say he's watching, waiting for his chance to escape again, while others hear the sound of footsteps following them through the woods, only to turn around and find no one there. The area around the penitentiary is said to be particularly haunted, with reports of cold spots, unexplainable noises, and the distinct sensation of being watched. One of the most terrifying experiences comes from those who feel someone or something brush against them as they walk through the eerie ruins. Some have even claimed to see the ghostly figure of the convict standing at the edge of the trees, staring back at them with empty, soulless eyes. The ghost of the Man in the Woods remains one of Port Arthur's most chilling spirits, but he is far from the only one. Many other apparitions are said to haunt the site, each one tied to the violent and sorrowful past of this historic location. So, there you have it, the top 3 most scary true Australian ghost encounters. From the restless spirit of Ned Kelly at the old Melbourne jail to the tragic ghosts of Monte Cristo Homestead and the tormented soul of the Man in the Woods at Port Arthur, these stories are proof that Australia is a land full of supernatural mystery. Do you dare to visit these haunted locations yourself? Or will you keep your distance from the restless spirits of Australia? For more terrifying ghost stories, supernatural encounters, and chilling legends, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, keep the lights on, because you never know who might be watching.